Social, we're trying to expand and give a slightly more elevated experience. We wanted to have, the full bar, full restaurant experience. I think one of the things that has been lacking at some of our other locations is, provide, top quality food. And
Justin Richardson, I'm the corporate chef with Texas Card House.
Chef Justin, since he came on, has really helped us hone in on what our guests are really looking for.
The sweetness from the strawberry contrasts with the beautiful saltiness from the bacon.
I wanted to take something that was easy, flexible, and convenient for our players to enjoy so that they can continue playing, make it a little bit more of a homey, loungy, comforting environment versus your average poker house.
Yep. Chef Justin, how's it going?
Good, how are y'all? How was the game?
Oh, it was great. Awesome. Man, we just did a tasting and it could not have been better.
So we came at the new menu with the approach of what do they already love? What do the guests already really appreciate? And what can we build upon?
Good news is Bad Beat Bacon's still good from the second time.
This is the best Bad Beat Bacon I think I've ever had.
I definitely think the Bad Beat Bacon was one of those items that kind of set the tone for where we wanted to take the direction of the menu and kind of some of the concepts.
And those eggs are just waiting to explode over there. The tater tots, all the stuff, you get all the stuff mixed with it, really good.
Jordan, can I get another seat?
All right. It's just simple right in the party. Yeah, I'll take that. No.
Oh,
2 folds, here. 4 folds. No, I wouldn't do that. 6 folds.
worse.
8 pilots.
Oh!
Down planes. Damn, wow, what's up? They were with sharks, I could have stayed on the 35. I know. 35. You know what? I haven't played with this guy and I haven't played with this guy. Okay. Conmigo, es como la primera vez que juego.
Hey, you're sucking that thing real weird on TV.
And I can't go deep.
I did.
You know what? I think I did play with you. Did you see what it feels? Yeah, okay. Sorry, 7. Yeah. 7 raises the 7. 8 volts. That's too high for you, baby.
Fuck that, I'll break that. I'll be tight down my
35.
over under your name, Shiger on the street. Damn it. Yeah. Oh, if you get a pocket pair, you're short. Georgie, you have a smaller seat?
No, Friday about it.
So tall.
Yeah? Heads up to turn. I checked the rig.
For baseball, yeah? Stop.
Stop.
All in.
Show it. Game.
Nobody had a pocket pair? And he's gonna get him. I won with my two.
No. That's good, but it's over here.
You don't have a well. No, I had ace.
Can't.
Oh, yeah, ace. No, you didn't. Yeah, you do. What you have? That was a no.
I don't know.
Oh, I won.
Get up, baby.
First
Get up, baby.
3.
Triple.
18. Triple straddle.
18.
Alright, so we got a straddle.
Shadow that.
Brick.
Now put it back.
Yeah, straddle for 6, straddle for 12.
That was fast, man. Now.
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
I went to the store right here.
That was fast.
I can't
Oh, right
pay
here?
my work shirt.
So you just make sure you scan them out.
JCPenney.
No.
It's too far.
Alright, I'll repeat it. I'll take your time and then check it. Alright, 6 folds, 7 folds, 8.
She's nervous.
No, straddle ratio. Buttons
Am I
on seat
tired?
1.
Am I blushing?
Yeah, hold that. Raise now, right? It's 12. Straddle is 12. She's 12.
So he's open now?
Yeah, everyone gets your money back. I like it. That was in.
Yeah, 6 folds, 7
Legend.
folds, 8 folds, 9 calls, 1 calls, 2 folds, 3 calls,
All that final thing. That's gotta be ugly. That's gotta be easy to ugly.
I don't know what Val's playing. 5. 3 checks. 4 checks, 5 checks, 9 checks. Sorry, yes.
You can't even get regular. You want to talk to this two guy.
1 bet's there.
OG.
3 calls. 4 folds, 5 folds. That's
Hamburguesa.
That's all. All RIP shark same picture.
You know Checo, right? Si tú sabes la historia de un McDonald's, pero
No.
ahí no él era el security de varios lugares. Y lo mandaba. Lo mandaba por la comida. Y entonces una vez le pusieron una orden grande, güey. Y llega el McDonald's y el vato se tardó un chingo. Y dice, güey, ¿por qué te tardas tanto? Pues el vato ponía una orden y luego se volvió a poner una otra orden y se volvió a poner.
Ruby told me that story. That he would go every time to put it in.
Ajá.
Bro, yes. That's fucking awesome. Yes.
we got $6 $6 straddle.
Yes.
12, Leon? No 12?
If he's picking on you, let me know.
No. Mi amigo.
Six calls, 7 folds, 8 raises it, 26.
Y la manita aquí, la
Yeah,
manita
yeah,
aquí.
yeah. Stop the heart rate. Stop the heart rate.
Yes, correct. 26.
Seas mamón, güey. Déjate de mamar.
My daughter did it the other day. I was so proud. She had her hand like this, and I was like, look at her. She's ready. Oh, baby.
4
The
calls,
pot is hot.
Got him.
I thought you just shut all those faces. Fucking all of it. I hope I end up at least in second place. I'll be happy.
I need a queen.
4 players,
And something else.
I just want to end up in second place. If I end up in second place, I'm happy. Yes, that's it.
Four checks. Five checks.
All right, too many of y'all. Too many of y'all on the pond.
One bet 7. Adds up their time.
What the fuck?
6-1, bet 75.
When you're a messenger,
I saw it.
oh, I can't go that serious.
I was telling Ruby about it.
On the news, you know.
When
they ask you, you gotta send.
¿Cómo estás? Be good at these cards.
I'm saying. We're gonna hand them coffee,
I'm saying they got fucked by 6. I don't think you have 6 4. Get a fucking raise. This time I can do 7.
Let me do it.
One.
Go ahead.
Oh, baby. That's a good card to have in your hand. Or that's a great card to have in your hand.
See you in 15 minutes anyway. Thank you so much.
I'm pretty sure he bluffed. He bluffed on the flop and on the turn? How was he bluffing on the flop? He probably bluffed.
I might call it. We'll find out. I'll let you know in 15 minutes when I know.
Yeah, let me know, please. Yeah. Or my notes.
6:30. 6:30. At 6:30? Actually, I'll set my timer.
I want to see. I don't want to wait a half hour. I want to see it in 15
No, I
minutes.
bluffed you. You don't have to wait. I bluffed you.
Ace queen of hearts.
I wish I had the ace queen of hearts.
Too much credit.
Way too much. There was 2 hearts.
6 holes. 7.
You just called on a flop with overs?
Yeah, and back.
That's my first time.
First time calling on the flop and over.
Yeah. Oh, really? You didn't even get damn it. Great 3 card. Oh, babe.
I thought he folded. So what? 70.
5 raises to 70.
Thank you for the $10. So you didn't see him?
You can't know?
You literally grabbed the $10.
Oh, cuando las puse aquí. Ah, no me.
Sounds like what he's doing. If you shoved it to the best angle ever.
Bye.
Yeah. My favorite Easter egg story, they were at the Golden Nugget. All I see is a guy on tail just. I walked out, what's going on, partner? I was here for how many hours, partner? Walk around High Living River. The very first time I met him.
All right, everybody, welcome to our 1-3 live stream. We got some exciting action going already. Holding some technical issues. Looks like we're going to start off with a straddle on the button. Fold around to Z6-9. He's going to raise it on to 21 with his ace queen suited. Parlay Val's going to call with her 10-9 suited. And New York Bob's going to wake up with pocket jacks. Looks like he's got some raising chips coming on in. And looks like the bet is raised almost to $80 now to go. I'll fold it back over to Z6-9.
I have another 8 behind.
Z's going to come along, and Miss Val's going to come along. So we're going to go 3 ways to this flop. The flop of Jack 5 Deuce Rainbow. Your Bob does flop top set, but not a lot going on for anybody else, unfortunately, for Bob. Z6-9 is going to check, and so is Val. Bob's going to bet 55.
Was it when you asked for it? When you asked it?
2 overs and a backdoor flush draw. Z's going to come along. And Val's going to let it go, so we're going to be heads up to this turn. Z is looking for some paint and some spades. That doesn't pair the board. And that definitely pairs the board. Bob now with quad jacks, with Z not picking up the nut flush draw. Maybe the pair board will slow down Z, but he checks on over to Bob. Bob's going to bet 175 into this pot. And Z is going to call. Z is looking for a spade. He doesn't know that Bob has 4 jacks, however. So this could be a massive pot if the spade does come out. It's the 9 of diamonds. So it's probably going to save Z a little bit of money. Like, end of the day, he only has ace high now. Bob with the quads. Gonna have to bet again. Try to extract a little value here. And he goes all in, and Z quickly folds. And he's going to show the quads. So they were mentioning there where the quad's good for our high hand. Our progressive high hand is Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. 3 separate time frames. We have one in the morning going from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The evening time is 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. and the night time is 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. So almost all day. $100 every hour. Continues to roll. If it's not hit that day, it continues to the next day. So for example, anything that is not hit today will roll over to next Monday, and it keeps on building. So pretty neat little promo there. Get back to the action. We're gonna looks like we're gonna have a $10 straddle under the gun from Z. New York Bob is going to call the 10 with the 5-3 of spades. Pedro looking down at ace 8 of spades. He comes along, and Donito picking up some spades for himself. He has the jack 10 of spades. He comes along. Folds the slider on the button, and he's going to raise it. He's going to open the pot up to $65. Folds back to Bob. Bob's going to call. Pedro calls and Donito calls. I wonder if some spades might come out. Be bad news for 2 of these players, but we are 4-way to the flop. Here comes 10-8-6, 2 hearts, so no hearts for anybody. Spider does have a gut shot straight. Donito with a pair of 10s, Pedro with a pair of 8s, and the straight comes in for Spider. Spider makes it straight with that 9. Donito now has an open and a straight. He can make the same straight, or a better straight with a 7, excuse me, or a queen. Donito's going to find out where he's at right now. He's going to bet $50. As it goes check, check on the flop to see where he's at. And Spider raises to 200. Fold back to Donito, and he's all in. I don't think Spider would have folded for the 150, so they decided to get it in now. Spider obviously having a straight makes it a little easier. And the 3 of diamonds comes out, so Donito does not get a better straight or improve in any way, so Spider's going to take down this pot. Nice little pot for Spider there. putting a little open on the button and just getting a better run out. We are going to have a straddle under the gun. Looks like it's going to be an $8 straddle. So action's going to start with New York Bob in seat 1. He looks down at the king 6 suited hearts. Bob is going to come along. Pedro's going to fold. Donito just reloaded to 300. He wakes up with pocket 4s. And he says raise $50. Spider's going to come along. Another suited ace. Ace 9 of diamonds this time. And then newbie in the small blind is going to wake up with pocket kings. Newbie's going to put in a big raise here. Looks to be a total of $150. Follow the back around to Bob. And he's going to let it go. That is one of Newbie's kings if he were to need it. Donito's just going to open on up. Full ship it with pocket 4s. Spider will get out of the way and Newbie's going to call, so Donito says he's got a pocket pair, he's good to go. Newbie obviously is not going to go in there with his pocket kings. No more action. Looks like they're going to run in just one, so Donito does need a 4 at this moment, and he does not get a 4 on the flop, but he gets his 1 on the turn. So, massive card on the turn for pocket 4s. What a hand. Newbie was just praying for no ace. Little did you know, he just didn't need a 4. So Donito's going to double up after just coming on in, and unfortunate luck for Newbie. Waking up with pocket kings. Not much he could do there.
Barrel, table 9.
Wow, massive, massive hand for Donito there.
Just miss the hand. When they just miss the hand, what do you have?
Ace 8 of hearts.
Good bet.
So no straddle this hand. Action is going to be on Bob again. First act, he looks down at the 8-4 off, and he's going to let it go. Likewise with Pedro. Donito looks at his own 4-3 offsuit.
I realized there weren't 2 hearts out there, and I might have to pay plus, along with whatever you might have. Straight draw and a flush draw. Could have been so much.
He's going to decide to open it on up.
Good bet.
He's going to raise it to $18 to play. Maker's going to come along. He calls with the Queen Jack offsuit. Spire waking up with another ace. That's 3 aces in a row. He 3-bets it to 75. Folded back to Z. In the small blind, he wakes up with pocket 6s. He's going to come along. Val with ace deuce in the big blind. She's going to come along. Telling you to let it go. Maker's going to come along. And now we got 4 ways to this flop. Nice little pop brewing here.
I just want to end up second place, right?
Isn't that a tournament?
No?
And it comes queen 7-5, so pair of queens for Maker and Spider. Spider with the better kicker. Pocket sixes are in second place, and not much going on for Parlay Val. Checked to Spider, who was the pre-flop aggressor, and he's going to continue his story. He's going to bet $90. Z is going to let it go. And Val's going to go all in for 115. Maker not so sure about his queen now after seeing a bet and an all-in. Even though he does have a pair of queens with a decent kicker. And he's all in. And Spider is going to make a call. Makes a snap call. So while they're making the side pot, massive hand, almost a $1,200 main pot right now. And there is just a pair. Most of the times we would see these pots brewing with some massive hands, some massive pocket pairs, sets, straights, and flushes against each other. But right now it's just ace queen versus the queen jack. As always, these players are not afraid to get it in, especially if they feel they have the best hand. Unfortunate for Maker for running in for ace queen. 6 on the turn, and Z would have gotten trips. So he unfortunately folded. Spider's going to show the ace queen and have everybody covered, and he's going to scoop everything. C69 was telling everybody that he had the pocket sixes, so Spider dodged a bullet there.
I thought about showing free. That was my contemplation. Oh, the baby's sick right now? Oh, I gotta go, babe? Already. She needs formula?
Massive hand there.
Oh, I did that. I'm sure.
Okay, C8 is adding up for 200.
6 is on the turn.
¿Tú qué tenías? Yo 5. 5 de mayo.
C9 for 300.
So they're just seeing how much these players are adding on for. C8's going to add on for 200. Val's going to come back in for 3. And C4 is going to come back in for 500 after that massive hand. Massive hand. Fortunate for Maker, again. Spider just waking up with ace queen there.
She's the one that had queen jack. I prefer the straight girl. I thought you had a queen jack. I've seen her call with some crazy hands. So I was like,
We have a $10 straddle on the button. And Parlay Val is going to come all in after she just reloaded with the queen jack. Bob's going to look down at the king 4 offsuit, and he's going to let it go. Looks like Pedro's going to call with his pocket 5s. Donito's going to call the $10 with 8-7 of hearts. Riverette's been a little quiet. He's going to come along with the ace-8 of diamonds. Newbie will call with the 4-3 of clubs, and Z is going to check his options. So we have 6 players to this flop. Here comes 10-3-3. Newbie with a 4-3, so he's got trip threes. Pedro with the only other pair that's out there. Backdoor flush draw for River Rat. It is checked over to Newbie, who's going to bet $30. Just a little under half pot. Z's going to fold it. Val's going to fold. Pedro's going to let his 5s go. Donito didn't catch much of anything, so he's going to let it go. And River is going to let it go. So Newbie's going to take down that pot. Fortunately, nobody caught anything to kind of build it up, but he still did get a nice hand there with trips. So not only is Wednesdays our live stream day, but it is one of our 2-for-1 days that we offer 2-for-1 in time all day, $100 cap. But for the entire day, it is 2-for-1 in time. You buy 1 hour and you'll receive 1 hour for free. You buy 2, you get 2 for free. So if you want to come in on either Sundays or Wednesdays to kind of play with us, it is 2-for-1 on both those days. We're going to jump back into the action. Donito is first act, and he's going to let it go. Mega's going to let it go. Spider has the 5-3 of hearts. He's going to open it up to 15. Newbie with the 8-7 offsuit is going to call 15. Z is going to come along with the 9-5 of diamonds. Parlay Val calls with the Queen 9. New York Bob's going to have the 10-8 of hearts. He's going to come along, and Pedro's going to see the King Queen. So we're going to have another 6-way flop. Flop comes Jack 6. So no Jack or 6 for anybody. It looks like King Queen is still in the lead. It's definitely in the lead now with the pair of kings. 2 pair kings and jacks with the queen kicker. Not much going for anybody else, so it is going to get checked to the river, and it comes a 3rd jack. This might entice some people to put in some bluffs. But Pedro does want to get some value for his hand, so he's going to bet 20. Unfortunately, not a lot going on for anybody else, so they can't call. He does show the king, and he's going to take down a nice little pot.
Double cheese.
Poker Randy, right? He's poker. That's who we have money.
Run it up, Randy. Randy Chavez.
What?
Run it up, Randy.
Poker Randy. It's a social media.
I gave one guy his cash out to send. He kept taking to him. I'm like, oh, those are just one-time.
So we have a straddle under the gun and a re-straddle. Looks like a $6 straddle and a re-straddle for 12.
You got a straddle, re-straddle, buddy?
Spider's not afraid to put in some action, so the re-straddle is going to hopefully liven up this game a little bit more. Not that it necessarily needs it.
The guy that you had master betting on the account, remember? Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of people not waking up with very much of anything. He's folding around a bob on the button, and he's going to have to let it go. He's got ace, deuce of diamonds, so he can't come along. Pedro's going to have to fold his small blind. First person to come along is going to be Donito in the big blind with the king 9 off. Maker looks down at the Jack 3 of hearts, and he's going to come along for another 6. And Spider is going to open it on up to $50 with the Queen 5 of hearts. So he's going to put a little pressure.
Sí, sí lo dije, straddle, restraddle, sorry, Neto. Lo digo más fuerte, más fuerte. Le dije straddle, restraddle a 12.
Donito is going to call. Looks like they're talking about the restraddle. I don't think Donito knew that it was a restraddle, but he's going to come along. It is going to be heads up, and with that flop, both players flopping open and straight draws. Donito needs a 5 or a 10, and Spider needs a 4 or a 9. Donito checks, and Spider's going to bet another $50. These guys have played plenty of times with each other, especially on the stream. So Donito's going to come along and see one more card. It comes the King of Diamonds. So it does bring a backdoor flush out there. Donito now with a pair of kings and an open and a straight. He checks. Spider also checks. Jack of Diamonds comes and he will complete that backdoor flush draw. But it does not improve anyone's hand. So Donito with the best of it with a pair of kings. He checks it. Spider is going to bet 185 and Donito calls very quickly. Spider turns over his hand and Donito has a little look and realizes he could beat that and shows his king, so he's going to take down this pot. So nice call by Donito there. Like I said, these guys have definitely played together plenty of times, so he definitely felt something fishy was askew. Now we are excited to have our Sunday night football squares going all month. Just show down a full house or better in any of our games. That's right, show down. You don't have to win, you just got to show it. And you'll get a football square. Squares are then randomized right before the start of the night game on Sundays. Each quarter pays out $250 for a total of $1,000 paid out. Must be playing to win. If the quarters are not hit, it will roll over to the next week. So I believe this coming Sunday we do have the third and fourth quarter at $500 each. So pretty exciting. So join us. All right, we get to jump back into the action. Looks like River Rat did call the Queen 7 of diamonds. Newbie's going to raise with the King Jack of diamonds, and Z is going to 3-bet to 70 with the King 4 of hearts. Folds the Maker and he folds. Spider with the straddle is going to let it go. He wakes up the 9-6 offsuit. You got River Rat. He's going to fold. Newbie's still in the hand. He's going to come along with the King Jack of diamonds versus the King 4 of hearts. So both players with suited kings are going to come along. Heads up. Flops comes Queen 10-10, so Newbie does have an open and a straight draw. 9 or ace will give him a straight. Neither player get any of the cards that they want with the black cards, so no flushes coming out. Newbie does check and Z does continuation with his bet of $55. Newbie's going to look at one more. And it comes the Queen of Hearts. So both players now chopping at this point with their king kickers. Newbie still does have his open and a straight draw. Both players do check. And it comes the 9. So there's a straight for Newbie. It does bring in the spades. So Newbie does have some showdown value. Double paired board. Straight flush draw out there. So not the best of situations. Has probably just enough to maybe have a look, and sometimes Z will turn over a 10 and a queen here, and it'll be bad news bears. But this is the time where if he does call, he'll see the good news, and he does call. And Z did say his ace was good, so he was trying to push him off an ace high, which is a decent play there. He does lose to an ace. So maybe he's trying to push some ace highs off that hand with the double pair board. And maybe just happened to have a straight, which is probably the minimum he'll have there if he was to call. If he didn't have the ace, if he had anything else, he probably would have heard about it before. So very interesting hand there. Once again, I'd like to welcome and thank everybody for joining us this Wednesday evening. Got just about 80 players watching, 80 participants watching, so welcome to everybody. We do have our 1-3 no limit hold'em going on here at Rio Grande Valley. So with no straddle, it looks like there's no action. Only player coming along is Parlay Val, excuse me. She'll limp it for 3. And everyone will fold, and she'll take down that pot. Now, like I said, it is our live stream day, so if you're interested in playing our live stream at all, you can send us an email to rgvlive@texascardhouse.com. Send us an email if you're interested, and we'll get you onto the list for any one of our games. For example, we do have 5-5 PLO this Friday. Instead of our normal 2-5 no limit hold'em, we're going to have 5-5 PLO. So we're very excited to have that. PLO is always an action game, so you're not going to want to miss out on some exciting action on Friday night. Again, if you want to join and be in the action, just send us an email. Or you can come inside and talk to any one of the staff members, and we can get you on the list with no issues. Now it looks like we have a straddle of 6 and a re-straddle from Z69 for $12. Val's going to fold, Bob's going to fold. Action's on Pedro, he's going to fold. Donato is going to have the 10-9 offsuit. He does tend to play these hands, he likes them. Plays them well, so he's going to come along for 12. Maker on the button folds. Spider's going to come along. River Rat's going to come along with the Jack-8, and Newbie's going to come along with his Queen-7 of hearts. Action back on Z69, and he's going to say, all you can eat. All that dead money out there, there is just under $50. So going all in, he does pick up just about 20% of his stack, so it's not a bad fold. When he gets called, he's not in bad shape, so it's not a bad move here. And he is going to take down that pot, so not a bad move from Z69 right there. Sometimes we go 6 ways, sometimes we shut it down pre-flop and we move on to the next one. But we do have another straddle, $6. He is going to put the straddle back on for 6. Action's going to start on Parlay Val. She looks down at the Queen Jack offsuit, and she's going to come along for $6. Donato wakes up with the Ace-8 offsuit. likes what he sees. He's gonna come along for $6. Maker throws away the king 9 off. Spider on the button with the queen 9 suited. I can see a 3-bet coming in here. And he does. He does raise on up to 36. Excuse me, it wasn't a 3-bet, it was just an open. That was a straddle. Excuse me. So he opens it up to 36. Newbie comes along with the king jack of hearts with 36. Val with the queen jack offsuit is going to come along. And Doneto's getting some odds to come along, so he does come to the party. We're going to have 4 players going to this flop. Nice little pot brewing here. And we do have ace 8-3, so Doneto flops top 2 pair. Backdoor flush draw for Newbie and Spider, but not much else going on for anybody else. Top 2 pair for Doneto, and Val's going to check. Lynette's going to check. Spider, who was telling the story, is going to go ahead and bet 65. Brings Newbie to fold. Val's going to fold. 2 pair back with the action back on Doneto. And like I said, these gentlemen have played plenty together. So Doneto just calls this bet. And it does come the 9 of hearts. So Baby Spider does pair his 9. Both players go check, check with the deuce of diamonds. Doesn't change too much, particularly. And Doneto grabs some firing chips and he fires away. Looks like he bets $200, so just under 2/3 pot. Bet right here. Trying to get a little value out of Spider. Maybe look a little bluffy. Try to get looked up lightly. And Spider's not going to fall for the trap. Doneto does mix it up a few times, and like I said, Spider and Doneto has played together numerous times there. So that could have made it for an interesting spot if Doneto was bluffing and Spider could have found a call. We know that he was not bluffing. We're going to have a straddle on the button now. Last few straddles have been under the gun. This one's going to be on the button. So actually going to start off for $6. Both the blinds fold. Val's going to fold. New York Bob's going to have the Jack 9 of clubs. And he's going to open it on up to 21. Pedro wakes up with the ace 9 of spades. He's going to come along for 21. Doneto also has Jack 9, but he's offsuit. He's going to come along for 21.
Ya van 2 veces, güey. Lo más seguro es que voy a hacer fold, pero no me... Ya van 2 veces.
You talk like you're fucking in Tom Juan. You play with one hand and an hour.
Maker looks down at the ace 10. Offsuit, he comes along. Spider is also going to come with the 10-5 of spades. River Rat on the button is going to defend his straddle with the king jack offsuit. So we do have 6 players going to this flop. Nice little pot brewing. $130 in the pot right now. The board comes ace, 6, 2, rainbow, no clubs. So 2-player flopping an ace. Maker does have the better kicker for out of both of the players. Bob's going to check. Pedro's going to check his ace. Doneto checks. Maker's going to put a little bet in. He's been quiet all night. Spider's going to call the 38. Pedro's going to go all in for just under $300. Nito's going to fold, and everyone else is going to fold. So nice check raise all in for Pedro to take down that pot.
Apple Pay. Have Apple Pay. I'm not Cash App, so I think they should all have it.
So New York Bob is going to start off the action with the $10 straddle under the gun. Pedro's going to wake up first ag pocket sixes.
$10 straddle, everybody.
Pedro says 38 to play. Nito folds. Maker folds. Spider folds. Riverat's going to let go. Newbie's also going to let it go. And Z69 is going to wake up with pocket kings. And he's going to call, just playing a little tricky. Val with the ace-4 offsuit is going to come along. And Bob has queen 10 of diamonds. It's not a bad hand. He's looking at 28 to keep going. It's 3 other players. And he is going to come along. So we are 4 ways to this flop. And it comes ace 10 3, 2 clubs. Val now with the best hand. New York Bob just going to pair 10s. Z69 is not loving the sight of that ace, but he's got pocket kings, and Pedro still with the 6s pre-flop. So everybody now has a pair. Z checks if Val bets $20. New York Bob's gonna call. Pedro will let go of his 6s, and Z is gonna call with his kings. Going 3 ways to this turn. Turn is the 3 of hearts. So it does pair the board. Z69 checks. Val's gonna bet 25. Bob's going to call again. And Z69 is also going to call, going to the river. And we have the 9 of hearts. Looks like everybody checks, and Val's going to take down this pot. Haven't got much going on all night since that big pot with Spider, so nice to get a pot going her way. So we do have a dealer change. So for any of you PLO fans, we do have quad PLO of the day, PLO quads of the day all month. This is eligible in the bomb pot games as well. It is a progressive $100 every single day until it is hit. It started with aces and keeps going up. Just a little something for some of the PLO players and something exciting to look for in some of the bomb pots. So we do have this going all month long. Please come by and check it out. And then our other cash promo is our progressive high hands in Hold'em. Again, it is progressive, $100 every hour. There are 3 payout slots, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. If it's not hit that day, it does roll over to the next day. We're going to jump back into the action here. Little delay on the graphics, and Bob's going to open to 25 with the Jack Deuce. Fold around to Maker, who looks down at aces. And he's going to raise it. Z, who had the $10 straddle, is going to fold. Actions back to New York Bob. And he's going to come along, so we're going to go heads up to this flop. And it comes 9-6-3, 2 clubs. So no hearts for Bob, not much going on. Bob does check. Maker's going to bet $50. Bob calls, and it does come the 8 of spades. Bob checks, actions back on Maker. Maker's got to bet 85 with action now back on Bob. And looks like Bob is getting some raising chips. He's going to put the pressure on Maker. Bob is going to make it to 305. And Maker does call. Maker does have the ace of clubs, so he is blocking nut flush draws, probably putting him on a bluff here. The 10 of hearts really doesn't help Maker's hand very much. Does put a 4 cards to a gut shot on the board. Bob had Queen Jack. He got there. Some suited connector cards are 2 pair. And Bob goes all in. So he's definitely not giving up on this pot. The only way he can win is by going all in. And definitely showing a lot of heart here.
120.
Maker is definitely put into a tough decision. And he does make a call. Massive call from Maker, so he does suss it out. And he is going to
No dijo él, no, espérate a la otra.
So while Bob unfortunately loses that pot, he does pick up the high hand bonus for his quad jacks. That is our high hand progressive, so it is eligible in the live stream as well.
600 sounds good. No, 5 and 3.
I think they're just trying to clarify how much Bob's going to reload for. I want to say is going to be for whatever the high hand amount was for 600, so he's going to put it back into play. There's no straddle on this hand, so just $3 to play. So folded to Baby Spider, who looks down at the ace-7 of clubs. He's going to open it to 20. Val looks down at the ace-5 of diamonds, and she's going to come along. We got 2 players. This is going to come 7, 6, 4, 2 hearts. So Spider does have top pair. Top kicker. Val with an open-ended straight draw. Comes the 4 of diamonds and pairs the board. Spider still with the best hand. Spider's going to bet 85. Val's going to come along with her open-ended straight draw.
I've never played with Val. That's what I'm saying. It's an interesting dynamic because she struggles to care for the streets. She puts her chips in.
Here comes the 9 of hearts, so she does not make her straight. Does go check, check, and Val is going to show ace-5 and muck it. Spider's going to take down the pot with the ace-7.
Here we go. Now I'm smoking cigarette. Did I say he said? I just said he's smoking cigarette.
Nadie fuma aquí, nomás mota y cigarros. Sí, es mota. Motita. ¿Cómo se dice la marihuana? Mary Jane. Aquí. Weed.
$10 button straddle. Pedro with pocket 8s. He's going to come along.
Siempre tenemos manos de noche.
Oh, it's a friendly. One of the friendly pies. ¿Mandé? 2 hijos. Los viernes, ¿no? Ok, eso está bueno también. Pero Holden o Pielo o Mata. Dos caras.
Alright, sorry guys, we are back. Just some technical difficulties. Looks like Z with the King Jack. Open. Pedro is all in with a set of 8s. Z called in. We're going to run it 2 times. Comes Queen of clubs, 6 of clubs. So there's nothing for Z. Comes the 10 of diamonds, 9 of hearts. So there's no improvement there. After running it twice, Pedro is going to take it down. Some massive hands going on in our live stream game today. If you want to be part of the action and you want to be on TV or the live stream, you can just send us an email to rgvlive@texascardhouse.com. You can start mixing up with some of these players. I think right now, as we speak, there is 5 on the list waiting to play, so it is gaining popularity. More and more players are wanting to play. If you did happen to join us on a Wednesday, we do have 2 for 1 in time, so even if you're not playing the live stream and you still want to join us, we're offering 2 for 1 in time all day Wednesday and Sunday. $100 is your cap as your buy-in. Very simply, while you play, buy an hour, get an hour for free. It's not so bad. Buy 100, you get 100 for free. So make sure to come in and join us on Wednesdays and Sundays. And we get to jump back into the action. Looks like we're going to have a straddle under the gun from Baby Spider again. Not afraid to put in some action. He's going to make it $6 straddle. River Rat looks down at the Ace King offsuit. He's going to come along for 6. Val with the Ace 10 of diamonds is going to come along. New York Bob gets out of the way. So does Pedro. Donato's got a bit quiet now. And he folds. Maker's going to fold. Spider checks his option. 3 ways to this flop. And it comes 8, 7, 4. 2 hearts. So not much going on for anybody. No improvement. It goes check. River bets 15. Val's going to call. And Spider's going to get out of the way, so it's going to be heads up. Comes the King of Hearts. So River does get a pair of kings now with his ace kicker. And he's going to bet 100, and Parlay Val's going to quickly fold. And let it go.
Where's Buddy?
This is another one of our promotions. In case you don't come in and you don't want to avail of the 2 for 1 in time, you could do the 4 hours for the price of $40. Normally 4 hours will cost you $48, but you're getting it for the price of $40 all month long, September 1st to September 30th. You can do a maximum of 2 purchases per day. So not bad little value there, saving 20%. And we're jumping back into the action, and Val's going to call the $3 with the Ace 6 offsuit. Bob looks down at the Queen 4 suited. He's going to come along for 3. Pedro and Donito is going to fold. Maker comes along for $3. Spider is going to check it. So we have 4 players to this flop. Comes Jack 10 4, 2 hearts, pair of 4s for Spider, and New York Bob. New York Bob now with an open-ended straight draw with his pair of 4s. He looks like Baby Spider has a gut shot, and so does Maker if an 8 was to come out. Bob's going to bet the $9 and take down that pot, and was just going to get out of the way. Very exciting to see how the game is turning out. We've been playing for just over an hour. Everyone's getting comfortable with each other. So we have a $6 straddle and a $12 re-straddle. So these guys are definitely starting to get their own little game kind of going, a little dynamic. Val's going to fold. New York Bob looks down at the ace queen of spades. And he's going to open it up. Donate though, Maker and Spider look like they're going to fold. River at Newbie is going to fold. And Z69 does wake up with the ace king. He is all in with the short stack after the king jack versus 8-10 versus Pedro. So he doesn't have a lot in his stack, but he does go all in. Ace king versus the ace queen. They're going to go one time. And it comes jack 10 deuce 2 diamonds. So Bob needs a king, Z needs a queen. They trade kickers there, but the ace king is still going to hold up. Nobody gets a pair. And Z69 is going to get a double up. So we got a chip and a chair. Like Bob said, he could have reloaded. Z wants to try to play out the 60, and he does get his double up. We're going to start with a $10 live straddle. So we went 6 to 12. Now we're going to do a $10 straddle. Val looks down at the ace jack offsuit, and she's going to call the 10. Bob looks down at the 7-3 of diamonds. He's going to pass. Pedro's going to pass. Actions on Maker. He looks down at the queen 3 offsuit. He's going to pass. Spider doesn't get anything on his button, so he's going to let it go. River calls the ace 8 suited. Newbie comes along with the jack 10. We are 4 ways to this flop. So it comes queen, jack 4. Looks like a pair of jacks for Newbie and a pair of jacks for Val. Not much going on else for anything else. River Rat does have a backdoor straight. Val is going to go ahead and bet her jack for $20. River Rat's going to come along. Newbie's going to come along. And Z69 is going to fold. So we're going to be 3 ways to the turn. Comes the 6 of hearts. So Newbie does pick up a flush draw. Val still in the lead with her ace jack. Not the turn card River Rat wanted, and his cards accidentally get exposed. The Newbie is going to let it go, even though he has a pair of jacks and a flush draw. He's going to let it go, and Val's going to take down a pot. So River Rat is going to straddle on the button for 10. As he's going to call it the 8-6 offsuit. Val's going to call it the king-queen offsuit. Bob looks down at pocket 9s, and he's going to open to 35. Spider's going to come along with the ace deuce of clubs. Riverat's going to come with the queen 8. Z is going to call with the 8-6, and then we're going to go 5 ways to this flop. Goes 9-7-7. So full house for New York Bob. Not much else for anybody else. Z, I guess, does have an open and a straight draw, so he's going to go all in. Val's going to get it out of the way with the 2 overs.
Above 65. Sure.
Bob does call, everybody else folds. Bob agrees to running it twice.
Reload. I can't wait. Next time, brother.
They agreed to twice, but Z69 is drawing dead.
Lord?
Oh, that's true. You're supposed to get one for the check. Yeah, you should tell him right now.
So if you can hear the players, they are talking about Bob getting a football square for his full house. We do have our Sunday night football squares going all month. $1,000 every Sunday night. $250 per quarter. All you have to do is show down a full house. You don't have to win. You just have to show down a full house or better. And you can choose a square. You must be present and playing to win. At 7 p.m. just before the game starts. We randomize the squares and we put it out for everybody to look, have a bit of a sweat. Last Sunday was a bit of fun. Everybody was sweating their squares as the score changes. Everyone was up and down. At one time, people were more focused on the Sunday game than they were the poker game at hand. So all you need to do is show a full house or better for our football squares. We also have our progressive high hands going Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. So not only with the football Sundays, but we have progressive high hands Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. That's 4 days of giveaway. $100 every hour from 1st to the 31st. 3 payouts per day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, starting at 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and 10 p.m. All 3 are separate from each other, and they will continue to roll over until hit. I believe Bob did hit the progressive with quad jacks at the start of the stream as an example, and they are claiming that he did quad jack, so he gets a second football square. So it's 2 football squares for Bob. Now back to the poker game. Bob looks down at the Jack 4 suited. He's going to call for 3. Pedro and Donito is going to fold. Maker is also going to fold. Spider looks down at the 4-3 of hearts and opens to 25. Folds to Val, and she's going to call for 25. New York Bob is going to come along. We're going to go 3 ways to the flop. Flop does come 9 of clubs, 6 of diamonds, 5 of diamonds. So open and a straight draw for Spider, pair of 9s for Val. Val's going to go ahead and bet her pair of 9s. Spider comes along, so it is heads up to the turn. It comes the ace of clubs. Val checks it on over. Spider's going to put in a bet. Try to represent the ace. He does bet 85. And Val says she doesn't believe him, so she's going to make the call. We're going to go to Wednesday. And it comes the 2 of diamonds, so Spider does get there with the 4-3. He does make a straight. It does also complete the flush draw. Val bets $25. And Spider goes all in. Definitely a rough card for Val. Completes a straight, completes a flush. Spider could have had the ace the entire time, maybe the ace of diamonds. Just trying to piece it together. And Val's going to call. Spider's going to show her the straight. Unfortunately, show her the bad news.
Like Chris.
So I believe that is going to be Val's last hand. She couldn't get much going, unfortunately, for herself. Played some nice hands, just unfortunate she couldn't get anything going. I believe most of the big pots are actually against Spider. They're just trying to get the next player. Like I said earlier, we do have a list for this game. And if you want to be on the list, you could just simply email us at rgvlive@texascardhouse.com. Or you can get with any one of the staff members in the club, and we'll happily get you on that list so you can start mixing it up. We're going to start off with a straddle on the button. New York Bob is going to look down at the king queen offsuit, and he's going to open it on up. Bob's going to make it to 25. Spider's going to look down at the ace deuce of club, and he's going to call the 25. Z69 is going to defend his straddle, so there's going to be 3 players to this flop. Comes 10, 6, 5, rainbow. Ace deuce is still in the lead. Z69 needs a 7 for a straight. Spider checks it, as well as does Bob. C is going to bet 40. Bob's going to call, and Spider's going to get out of the way. Comes the queen of clubs, so Bob does pair his queen and takes the lead. Z still looking for that 7 for the straight. Now comes the 8 of clubs, so Z pairs his 8, but it's not going to be any good as Bob does have the king queen for a better pair. And Bob's going to bet 60. Looks like 8 calls, and Bob's going to take down that nice pot. Nice hand for Bob. Once again, we do have over 105 people watching right now, so I want to say thank you to everybody for joining us this fine Wednesday night. It's nice to watch these guys play a nice, interesting game. They're definitely mixing it up. The chatter's not so bad. They're telling some funny stories. So I'm glad y'all can join us. Actually, I'm going to start with River Rack calling the $3 with the ace-3. Maybe he's going to come and raise it to $10 with the 5-3. Z69 is going to come along. with the 7-4 of hearts. Action is on New York Bob. He calls the 10. Pedro looks down at the Jack 10 offsuit. He's going to call the 10. Neto's going to let go of the big blind. River Rat's going to call, and we have 5 players. Flop comes Jack 6-6, so pair of jacks for Pedro. Not much going on for anybody else. Nobody has a 6 in their hands. So Pedro with the best hand right now. He checks it. River Rat checks. Newbie's going to fire $25. See, he's going to get out of the way. Action's back on Pedro. That looks a little bit more than $25, so Pedro's going to raise here. Pedro raises to 123, and it's folded back to Newbie.
Yeah, that's terrible thing. I didn't mean it was something.
And Newbie is going to let it go. So Pedro's going to take down that pot.
See the debate last night? Yeah, yeah. What do you think? I think he won. I would have liked to have heard, I'd like,
So if anybody is interested in tournaments, we do have our popular $20 rebuy tournament on Friday nights and Sunday evenings. Both tournaments do have a $2,000 guarantee. It is a rebuy / add-on tournament, so as long as your stack does not go above 50,000, you can add on at any points outside of the hand, obviously. For $20, we'll get you 10K in chips. Register early or on time for this tournament, and you'll also receive a 5K early bird. Nice little tournament for anybody that's interested in playing. All right, we get to jump back into the action. It looks like there is a straddle for $6. River Rat's going to call it the 6-5 of clubs. Z is going to look down at the Queen 10 offsuit. He's going to open it to 25. We also have a new player in seat 9, Rock. Welcome, Rock. He's going to fold. Bob's going to fold. Ped's going to fold. Neto's going to fold. So action's going to be on Maker. Maker did call the 25. Spiders out of the way. River Rat is next to act. And he's going to call, so we are going to go 3 ways to this flop. Flop comes 3-3 deuce, so no pair for anybody. River Rat does have a gut shot straight flush draw. Maker's going to check. Options on River Rat, and he bets 40.
It's a good hand. It's the best. If the moderators bother him,
I agree, but it's kind of tough
If you're patient,
He bluffed me, but it was like 78 hours.
answer the question they were asked. She didn't even.
Throwing my throw.
So he had the option of saying whatever he wanted to say, however he wanted to say it, and he can't help himself.
I agree. He tried, but
The first 15 minutes I thought were perfect. I was like, oh my God, someone's doing a really good job.
and he missed a big shot when he asked her like, you think the economy's in a better spot than it was, and he let her off. He didn't like when he came back. He didn't answer. Yeah.
Well, now he's the old man.
How's your president in Mexico?
And so we don't have a straddle this hand. Regret's going to just let it go. Newbie's going to open it up to $20 with pocket tens.
He lied 33 times. She lied once.
Z is going to look down at the queen 8 suited,
Yep, they did fact checks on both sides.
and he's going to come along.
Is that bad over there?
It's gonna. When she did her interview,
The economy or?
they did fact checks on her too. She did that hour-long.
Baby Spider is also going to come along for 20 with the ace 4 of diamonds. So we're going to go 3 ways. It comes trip queens for Z. Spider's going to have the flush draw. And Newbie with the pocket tens. Spider's going to bet $50. Try to beef up this pot. Newbie calls, and Z is going to go all in with his trip queens.
I could be wrong, but yeah. The last time he lost by 6 or 7 million bucks.
It looks like Spider is also all in, just to protect his hands.
I know what you have, but
Newbie folds pocket tens. The players agree to run it twice. Comes a 5 of spades and the 5 of hearts. So that is a full house for Z, no flush for Spider, and it comes running deuce deuce for another full house. So no diamond anywhere.
football square.
Against one. Top 4. Yeah, of course. No, but I'm asking like if you have to use 2 cards, you know. Oh, that's right. He has to use both cards. That's why I'm asking. But you said it in Spanish. I don't understand Spanish. Yeah, you have to have 2 cards in your hand.
So Z does scoop down that pot. If you can hear the guys talking right now, they are talking about our football squares. I just want to kind of get this out there. It is a bit of fun trying to get word out there that we are giving $1,000 away every Sunday night, $250 per quarter. It is progressive as well, so if one of the quarters is not hit, it does roll over. This upcoming Sunday, the 3rd and 4th quarter are going for $500 each, as an example. You must be present and playing to win. Tournaments are eligible, obviously, so if you're in the tournament, you can still obviously win. Showdown to full house or better, and you can get a football square with your chance to win one of these quarters on Sunday. And we'll get to jump back into the action. Newbie's going to open up to $15 with the King Jack. Z is going to call 15. The pocket deuces rock is going to have his first hand played with the ace 10 offsuit comes along. Folds around to Maker with the 8-6 of diamonds. And we got 5 players coming along. Board comes Queen 10-5. So open and a straight draw for Newbie. Not much going on for anybody else. Backdoor flush draw for Maker. Or 10s for Rock, I guess. Still not a bunch going on. Rock is going to see where his 10 is, bet 30. Newbie's going to call the 30 with his open-ended straight. And Z is going to let go of those pocket deuces. So they're going to be heads up to the turn. And the turn is the 8 of clubs. 8 of clubs does not improve anybody's hand, so Newbie is going to check. Rock's going to continue betting. He bets 65. Excuse me, 55. And Newbie calls. Going to the river. The river is the 3 of clubs, so it brings a backdoor flush draw. Newbie does have the king of clubs. Could try to represent ace king of clubs. But he's going to just check it on down, and Rock's going to check it on back. And take down that pot with the pair of tens.
One more year.
Can you say the pledge of allegiance?
The what?
The pledge of allegiance, sir. Right now. Right now. Word for word, I give you my vote.
Big deal.
Sorry, we're back. Just a little lag there. So we have the queen 10 is going to call the 11. Bob's going to call the 11 with the ace 3. Maker is going to have pocket threes. He's going to call for 11. Newbie is also going to come along with the jack 9 offsuit. 5 players coming to this board, and we have a jack 10 for 2 diamonds. So pair of jacks for Newbie, pair of 10s for Rock. Then not much else going on for anybody. Newbie checks his pair of jacks. Z checks. Rock bets 15. Maker comes along. And Newbie's going to raise it to 45. Check raise to 45, and he's going to get it through and take down this pot. So Rock is going to put on the $10 live straddle, it looks like. Rock himself is not afraid of any action. We'll happily mix it up, so it's perfect for this kind of game. These guys have been mixing it up all night. Action is going to start on Bob. He looks down at the 6-3 of clubs. He comes along for $10. Pedro's next. And he looks down at the Jack 7 of clubs. Don't let those folds. Maker folds. Action's on Spider, who looks at Ace Jack suited. He's going to make it 55. River Rat, Newbie, and Z are going to fold. Rock is also going to fold. And looks like Bob also gets out of the way, so Spider's just going to take down that pop.
Sunday there was a 109 $500,000 guarantee. First place was 68K. I'll send you my 33% right there. Not just for me, I know. But the series is really good.
no straddle this hand, so they're just looking at a $3 bet. Bob folds, Pedro folds. Spider's gonna open it up with the Queen 9 offsuit. Folds the river rat. He's gonna come along with the King Queen. And so is Z in the small blind. So we got 3 players going to the flop, and it comes King, Jack, 10, which is a flop straight for Spider. Excuse me, that looks like a graphic error. We do have a graphic error as the board is showing all hearts. Slight mix up with the cards in that hand.
No, I had them.
We do apologize that there is some technical difficulties tonight. A little bit of lag going on from our side, and I want to say in the booth as well. Either way, I do appreciate everybody coming on and joining us. We get to watch all the good hands, bad hands, and the mistake hands, so we're doing it all together. Leo is going to put the $10 straddle, and Rock looks down at the King 10 offsuit. He's going to come along for 10. Fold around to Maker. He hasn't really been getting very many cards. He has a massive stack from the Aces versus Jack Deuce against Bob hand, where Bob put him to the test and he made a good call, so he hasn't been getting much going on, but he still has a stack. Looks like we went 3 ways to this flop. It's checked all the way to Z with the 10-9 offsuit. King 10 and the Ace 10. So comes the King 10, still 3 ways. Rock checks his King. Gut shot straight for River Rat now. Same gut shot straight for Z6-9, but if the Jack comes out, River Rat would have the better straight with the Ace high straight, not the King high straight. It looks like Z bets, Rock folds, and River Rat calls, so we're just going heads up. Then comes the Ace of Spades. River Rat now gets an ace, brings a 3rd spade out there, and the hand goes check, check. And a bit of Barry Greenstein ace on the river there. River Rat's going to take down the pot. So Rock has the straddle on the button. Action is going to start in the small blind. And Bob looks down at pocket 9s. Bob's going to raise it. 45 to go. Pedro's going to fold. Maker looks down at pocket 4, so he's going to come along. Fold around to Z with the King 9 offsuit. He comes along. And Rock has the King 9 suited. He also comes along, so we're going to have 4 players going to this flop. All nines were dealt out. Comes Jack 10-5 with both the king nines flopping a gut shot. Both players would need a queen. Pair of nines are still in the lead. So far, it goes check, check. Z is going to check, and action is going to be on rock. He's going to check. He's going to see a free card. Comes the 3 of clubs. So pair of nines are still in the lead. Bob is going to check it. Maker checks, and Z is going to bet $80. Nobody said they liked anything on that flop, so he said he's going to try to take it. Does get rock to fold, so if a queen does come out, he will not be sharing. And Bob does fold the pocket nines. Action's back on Maker now with the best hands, pocket fours. And he lets it go. It's a nice bet from Z to take down that pot. Half pot bet takes it down. Z6-9 has definitely showed that he's not afraid to mix it on up and get involved in some pots. Definitely some action. Apart from Baby Spider that's been opening and 3-betting, he is the second in the R, first in the pot raise. As you can see the graphics on the bottom. New York Bob in seat 1 is going to have the button straddle. It's going to be $10. Pedro folds. Action's on Maker. Maker folds, the Spider folds. River Rat's not going to come along. And let it go. Newbie looks down at the ace of diamonds, queen of spades. He's going to open to 25. Z is going to call with a 6-5 offsuit. Action back onto Bob. He's got the 9-7 offsuit. He's going to defend his straddle. We're going to have 3 players going to this flop. Flop comes ace, jack, 6, 2 spades. So pair of aces for Newbie, pair of sixes for Z. Not much going on for New York Bob. So it looks like it went check, check, and the turn card came out. We saw a bet, and everyone folded. We have a straddle coming from Spider, so no surprise. But once again, I want to appreciate and say thank you to everybody that's come out and watching with us. We're just about halfway through this live stream, going for about 2 hours, and we have 114 people currently watching. So welcome and thank you to everybody that's joining us. All right, getting back to some of this action here. Looks like Z has the ace deuce offsuit, and he's going to open to 25. Fold it over to Maker in the big blind. He's got the king 4 diamonds. He's going to decide to save the $22 and just let it go. Action's on Spider. And just not enough, so he's going to let that one go, and Z is going to take that pot down.
Al final del año tienen que meter ahí gastos y la verga para recuperar. Pero ahorita
Now, if you're looking to come and join us on Wednesday, maybe not necessarily for the live stream, but for our normal cash games, we do offer 2-for-1 on Wednesdays. We offer them on Sundays as well. $100 cap on your purchase. So you buy $100, you get $100 for free. So that's not too bad. This promo is all day, Wednesdays and Sundays, so you can join us in the mornings, the evening, nighttime. It does go all day. With the action coming back, it looks like Z opens to 15 with the Jack-9 off. And Rock is going to call with the 6-5 off. Folded back to Maker. In the small blind, looks down at the 10-9 of clubs. He's going to come along. Spider's got the 9-7 suited. And he's going to 3-bet. With the 3 players with the dead money there. He's going to just try to get rid of some of the riffraff. And guess he gets rid of Z and Rock's. Maker's going to call, so they're going to go heads up to this flop. And it comes 8-6-3 with 2 hearts, baby Spider with an open-ended straight flush draw. Maker with a gut shot straight draw and 2 overs. Maker does have black cards. It is a red flop. Maker checks, and Spider is going to put in a bet of $100. And that'll be enough to take it down, so Spider takes down that pot. So just another showing some of the cash promos that we got going on this month. From September 2nd all the way to the 30th, we do have our Kilo Quads of the Day. This is designed for just our Omaha players, high-low, included, as well as the bomb pot. Started up with aces and it goes down, $100 per day. If not hit, it does roll over. And then our Hold'em progressive high hands of the day, only in Hold'em. This is Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. There's 3 time slots, morning, evening, and nighttime. Starting at 10 a.m., evening starting at 4 p.m., and the nighttime starting at 10 p.m. Each hour it goes up $100 until hits, and will roll to the next day. And then if you get a full house or better, you can get one of our Sunday Night Football squares as well. The quads of the day in the PLO will make it eligible for the football squares as well. $1,000 per Sunday, with $250 a quarter. So just some exciting cash bonuses there. Now, talking about some action, we come back and it looks like we got the Straddle all the way up to $48. Straddle started at 6, goes to 12, 24, and then 48. So far, everyone is folding. Z wakes up with the Queen Jack suited. He was the 12 straddle. And he's all in.
It's 27 big ones. What are you looking at 27 big ones, Papa?
Rock folds, and that's back to Bob that put in the 48. And he looks down at the 7-5 offsuit. I can't imagine.
Yes, sir. Well, a little more. This is 400. Yeah, and change.
I Can't imagine Bob's gonna do a $500 pot with 7-5 offsuit. Probably trying to think, was he 60-40 maybe? Who knows what's going on there, but good to see the action. Good to see the quad straddle.
Like 60% to real.
Definitely some good action going on tonight. And with Z taking down that pot, he is also going to put the $10 straddle line under the gun. So we're going to start off with the $10 bet. Rock's going to be first act, and he's going to look down at ace king offsuit. And Rock is going to open to 35. New York Bob looks down at the 10-6 of diamonds. He decides to fold it. Maker with the king 5 of diamonds also folds. Spider folds. River Rat folds. Newbie's gonna fold. Z's gonna look down at the 7-4 offsuit, and he's gonna defend his straddle. We're gonna go heads up to the flop. Flop does come 10-6 deuce. Rainbow with no diamonds. So ace king is still ahead. Z is going to check it. Rock is going to go ahead and continue bet. He's going to bet 35. And Z is going to come along. So still heads up to the turn. And it comes the Queen of Hearts. So Rock still with the best hand, does pick up a gut shot. Jack will give him Broadway. No other improvement besides that. Action is on C6-9, and he's going to decide to take the betting lead. He's going to bet 85. I feel like this is a good bet here. I think that turn helps Z more than it does help Rock some of these times. So no straddle, even Bob makes the comment, no straddle. That's how much action these guys are giving. It's more uncommon that there's no straddle than it's uncommon to see a straddle. Rock is going to come in with the king 10 of diamonds. Fold it around to newbie in the small blind. And he's going to open it on up to 11. Z's going to fold and Rock's going to call, so there's going to go heads up to this flop. Flop comes 9-5 deuce, 2 hearts. So pair of deuces for newbie's now the best hand. He's going to fire and Rock's just going to get out of the way.
Wish I if I ever lose weight, get back in the
We got $10 on the straddle.
I love it.
Very well rebounded.
I fucking use my thumb right in his rib, right in the ball coming. Fuck the fucking hot rebound. Fuck that. I don't allow rebound. I'm dirty as fuck.
I think a lot of spiders on my team because I could just toss it.
Tossing out there, tossing out there.
Unless spiders with freaking sow and you guys just run your
Oh, he's so weird.
So we have a $10 straddle.
four raises it to 50.
Donato comes in and he looks at the 8-7 of spades. He's been a bit quiet. Maker is going to open it on up to 50. He wakes up the ladies, pocket queens. Looks like it folds back around to New York Bob. He's got the ace-jack offsuit. He's going to come along for 50. And looks like Don is also going to call. And we're going to go 3 ways to this flop.
Queen, jack, aces, and
Flop comes 10, 6, 5, 2 hearts. Pocket queens are still in the lead. Donato has an open-ended straight draw, so 4 or a 9. New York Bob checks. Donato bets 57. And Maker's going to raise to 125. Maybe try to protect against some flushes. He does have the queen of hearts for some blockers, but it's definitely going to beef up this pot a little bit. Going to go heads up to the turn. And then comes the 10 of spades, so pairs the board. Donato's going to check. And Maker's also going to check. And then comes the 4 of diamonds, so Donato does make his straight. And he's going to lead out for just over $200. So half pot bet. Maker's just trying to piece it together. Probably thinking that that 10 on the turn ruined everything. Trying to think, what does he call with? Goes check on the turn and then he leads with on the river. The 10 will definitely do this. Could be on a missed flush draw. And he does make a call. We saw him make the same call with aces against Bob. Except this time, the queens are not going to be good, unfortunately, for the call. So Donato getting some good value from the queens there. I feel like that's one of those hands where you call, they show you the best hands. And you fold and they show you a bluff, so you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, unfortunately. Definitely a tricky scenario there with pocket queens. And like I said, he made a similar call when Bob made a bet on a similar board and Maker had aces. And he was right in that occasion, so this isn't the first time. I'm sure it's not going to be the last time we see them in this situation. So we have a $10 button straddle to start the action. Action is going to start on rock. Rock folds. New York Bob looks down at the Jack 9 offsuit, and he's going to come along. And Nito looks down at the Ace 9 of clubs. He's going to come along. Baby Spider looks down at pocket 6s, and he's going to open it up to 65. It does get folded. Back to New York Bob, who's going to call it the 65. And those also going to call, so we're going to go 3 ways to this flop. And it comes King Jack 8, 2 spades. New York Bob does get a pair of jacks. With a backdoor flush draw and straight draw, and Spider with a pair of 6s. Deuce of hearts on the turn doesn't really change much. That's a bit of a brick. New York Bob still with the best hand, pair of jacks. Neto checks and Spider checks the 3 overs, comes a 5 of diamonds, so almost a set for Spider. But not quite. Bob is going to bet 132. Or 107. Excuse me, 107. Neto's going to fold. And Spider is going to let it go, so Bob is going to take that pot. Once again, we are continuing the action with the $10 straddle on the button. Rock is going to put the $10 out. Even though this is a 1-3 game, it does play a little bit bigger, a little bit more action. The straddle is definitely a lot more common and is definitely on in most situations. A couple hands ago, we did get all the way up from a 6 to a 12 to a 24 to a $48 straddle. So again, definitely not afraid to put the action on. Action's on Bob. He folds. Pedro folds. Doneto's going to fold. Gets all the way to newbie. He looks down at the ace-5 offsuit. He's going to raise to 25. And Z is going to 3-bet to 80. And everyone's going to end up folding. $10 straddle to start the action on the button again. Page is going to let it go. Donito's going to fold. Maker is going to wake up with pocket 9s and he's going to open the pot. He's going to make it to 30. Baby Spider looks down at the ace jack suited. He's going to come along for 30. Z is going to look down at another ace 7, also suited. He's going to come for 30. Bob on the button is also going to defend his straddle with the 5-3 offsuit. We're going to go 4 ways to the flop. Comes King 6-5 2 clubs, so pair of 5s for Bob. Pair of 9s is still in the lead. Maker is going to bet 50. Spider comes along with the 50s. Does have the backdoor flush draw, technically 60% of a royal flush. Bob's going to fold in there, heads up. Comes the 3 of diamonds. If Maker thought he was ahead on the flop, that 3 shouldn't really change much unless he's putting Spider on a straight. So Maker does bet 120. And with the nut flush draw, Spider comes along. We're going to go to this river, and it comes the 7 of diamonds. So it does go nothing funner, runner, runner for Spider. Maker does check. There's not much he could probably bet and get value from here. Probably does want to bloat up the pot, try to go to showdown. Fortunately, Spider does have the nuts, and he's also the type of player that could bet here in general. He doesn't need to have it in this situation, so definitely a tricky situation. He decides to bet a total of 650. Maker trying to piece this together. Trying to see if Spider has some sort of 4 in his hand. Maybe got there with a straight. Does he have the diamonds? 2 pair. He does let it go. So a good fold from Maker. If you want to join us in the action, once again, we do have the RGV live at texascardhouse.com email. Just send us an email saying you want to play on the 1-3 Wednesday, the 2-5 Friday, the 5-5 PLO on Friday. Whatever you fancy playing, just let us know. Let one of the staff members in the room know, and we can happily get you situated with joining some of these lovely guys and getting in some of the action. Just a little bit of change, but not a massive change, but a $10 under the gun straddle versus the button. Spiders put the 10 on. Actions on River Rat. Who's going to fold? Newbie's going to fold. We got Z69 coming in for $25 with the 5-3 offsuit. New York Bob looks down at Ace Jack offsuit. He comes along. Donato is going to look down at the Queen 9, and he's coming along. And Baby Spider is going to come along and defend his straddle. So we are going to go 4 ways to this flop. Flop comes 9-4 deuce 2 spades. Donato with the top pair, decent kicker, is the best hand. Open in a straight draw for Z69 right now. It goes check, check, and Z does bet the open in a straight. He bets 75, just 3/4 pot bet. Bob feels something fishy's going on, but he is going to get out of the way. And then Donato with the check raise to 175. Spider's going to get out of the way. Z's going to call, and they are heads up. Comes the 3 of clubs. So Z with a pair of 3s, still open in a straight draw. Donato still with the best hand with the Queen 9. It looks like he's getting betting chips. And he does make a bet of $250. Z is going to call. Got a pot brewing now. These boys are playing some poker here.
Sí, dime some for the hamburger, donde, please. Déjame poquito por la hamburguesa.
¿La quieres dejar ahí?
No.
Ahí muere. Ahí la dejamos.
And the river's going to come out. Is the king of hearts, so Z does not get his straight. And it goes check, check, and Doneto's going to show queen 9. And the 9 is good, so he is going to take down a massive pot, just under $1,000 pot. Like I said, these guys have played together multiple times. They're not afraid to mix it on up. Get it in. So definitely an interesting hand there. Very rare, there's no straddle-less hands. So we're just playing for $3.
Not everybody saw it.
Some of us. Just a couple. Okay. One fold, yes. 6 folds, 7 folds, 8 raises, 15.
Z is going to look down at the queen jack offsuit, and he's going to open it to 15. Rock is looking down at the ace queen suited clubs. He's going to come along for 15. Bob looks down at 8, 7 of hearts. He's going to come along for 15 as well. Doneto's not even done stacking the pot, and he's coming along. He looks down at the jacks and 5s with the jack 5 of spades on the button. Maker's going to call to make it 5 ways to this flop. Comes jack 5 deuce. So 2 pair for Neto. Top pair for Z with the queen jack. Will probably get him in some trouble. He does bet 30. Rock with the backdoor flush and 2 overs calls. And then Doneto says he's going to beef up the spot right now. He's going to open it up to 155. Z is going to go all in. He didn't have much left, but he is going to go all in with his queen jack. Reluctantly, Rock is going to fold. Bob is going to fold and get out of the way. They're asking if they want to run it once or twice. They're going to run it 2 times. And the turn is a 7 of diamonds and the king of clubs, so Doneto will still go with his 2 pair. Here comes another jack for a full house. And the ace of diamonds doesn't improve anything, so Doneto with 2 pair and a full house is going to scoop this pot. Two massive hands for Doneto back to back. Massive pot here. Now, if that full house on the bottom was on top, then it would have been eligible for one of these Sunday night football squares. Giving away $1,000 every Sunday, $250 a quarter. It is progressive, so if it's not hit, it will roll over to next week. I believe this coming Sunday we have the first 2 quarters at $250 and the 3rd and 4th quarter at $500. So it's a little bit more added value this Sunday. All you have to do is show down a full house or better. You don't have to win, you just have to show it down. You must be present and playing to win the football square. So make sure to join us on Sundays for that. We would also have our 2-for-1 in time on Sundays as well. So if you did join us After getting a few football squares throughout the week, you can avail of 2 for 1 in time while you're trying to hit the quarter. Join us, have some drinks at the bar, watch the game, try to win some money. So we're going to have a straddle on the button. It looks like it folds all the way to New York Bob. Excuse me, folds all the way to Rock, who opens with Ace Jack. And then New York Bob, also with Ace Jack, is going to call the 20. Pedro's going to wake up with pocket 5s and call 20. Doneto's on a tear. He's picking up some big hands. He's going to call the 20 with King 10 of spades. And Maker's also going to come with it Queen 5 of clubs. So 5 players coming along. Big flop here. We got 2 players hitting their ace. Neto with a gut shot straight draw. And then you have Maker with a nut flush draw. So a little bit of something for everybody. Rock is going to bet the 45. Bob's going to call the 45. Pedro's going to let go of his pocket 5s. Tanetha's got a mountain of chips and no intention of folding, so he's going to come along. And so does Maker. We're going to go 4 ways to this turn.
4 players to turn.
It comes the 8 of spades. Black card, but not the card that Maker wants. It does bring Neto a flush draw himself now, so any jack, any spade. New York Bob and Rock, both with the best hands currently, with their pair of aces and jack kickers. Rock bets 100. New York Bob's going to call the 100. New York Bob also does have the ace of spades. Okay, so entices him to get a little bit froggy. Neto comes out with the $100. He's coming along. Maker just trying to do some math here now. And he's going to come along. So nice pot brewing. Just under $700 going. Still 4 ways to this river. And it comes the 9 of clubs. So the nut flush for Maker. Rock and Bob still only have a pair of aces with a jack kicker. Neto didn't get his straight or flush, so he just has queen high at this moment. But Maker does have the nutter butters with the queen, seeing as the ace and king are out there. After Rock checks, Bob's trying to figure out if his hand's good here. 2 people behind him. Does he want to bet into the pot? He elects no. Neto's not going to have anything to bet. And rightly so. Maker's going to try to get some value for this. It's a decent sized pot and he's got the nuts. Last act, he's going to put a bet in. Looks like he bets 350. Rock is going to fold. Bob looks like he's cutting out some calling chips here. And he calls. He's putting Maker on a bluff, but Maker is going to show him on the nuts. So just 2 really unfortunate hands against Maker for Bob. So massive pot going Maker's way. Doneto's just claiming he's got so many outs and he missed, which he rarely did. Open-ender and a flush draw. But Maker is the one with the better flush. So like I said, this is a juicy, juicy game. Baby Spider adding on 500 onto his stack. Bob's definitely going to reload. We had a couple $1,000 pots in the last few hands. And remember, we're only playing 1-3. These guys aren't afraid to get it in and mix it up, especially with these straddles. I feel like Bob's going to be reloading for 1,000, if that's what I heard correctly. And we're going to start with a $10 straddle on the gun. So Bob is going to look down at the 8-7 offsuit and call the $10. Pedro's going to come along. Neto and Maker are going to fold. Spider's going to fold his button. River Rat's going to look down at the ace, queen of diamonds, and he's going to call. Newbie's going to come along, as well as Z. So we got 6 players calling to this flop with a 10, 9, 7. So New York Bob with the pair of 7s opening a straight draw. Z with the better 7, excuse me, with the pair of 7s with the better kicker, is in the lead at the moment. Bob is gonna bet his hand, and looks like he's gonna get it on through. So once again, I do really want to appreciate everybody who is here joining me tonight. Unfortunately, you do not have your normal commentator, Isaac. Shout out to Isaac, who is currently up in Austin. He always does a great job keeping you guys entertained on Wednesdays and Fridays. I'm here just stepping in for the moment. But I definitely want to say thank you to everybody who is joining me. It is a pleasure to watch games like this every now and then where there's a lot of action, some good jokes. Nice authentic poker game. Definitely plenty of action. And speaking of action, the straddle is still on, so $10 to go. We might as well change this to 1-3-10. And then it'll probably straddle to 25. Can't stop this action, so lively bunch. Bob is going to raise it with the ace 4 suited to 35. Fold it around to Maker with the king, queen of diamonds. And he is going to 3-bet to $90. Just try to isolate Bob a little bit. Does have Bob's number a little bit here tonight. So he is definitely going to try to isolate a little bit. Bob calls, and we are going to go heads up to the flop. Here comes Jack 3 deuce 2 hearts. So New York Bob with a straight draw with the 5 and a flush draw with the heart, and has the best hand with ace high right now. So a lot going for Bob. King queen for Maker. Bob does check and Maker c-bets. Bob calls, and it does come the 9 of hearts, so Bob has the nuts. Maker does pick up a straight draw and he's a 10. Bob does check it back, and then Maker checks, so he's not falling for the trap right now. Little pot control, and it does come the ace of diamonds, so no improvement for Maker unless Bob wants to check and Maker makes a bluff. It'll be hard to get anything out of Maker in this hand. Bob's going to make a decent bet here. And Maker's obviously going to fold with his king high. So Bob's going to take that pot down. A little bit of money back from Maker. Like I said, these two gentlemen have been kind of going at it all night tonight. Definitely not afraid of some action, so there's been some big pots, especially between New York Bob and Maker. Now Bob is first to act, and he's going to go ahead and fold. Action's on Spider, who's going to be the first to act. Looks down at the king, queen suited. He's going to open it to 20. Rock's going to defend his big blind with the jack nine of clubs, and then it's going to be heads up to the flop. Here comes 10-10, 6, 2 hearts. No hearts for anybody, no pairs for anybody, so king queen is still ahead. Looks like Rock checks. Rock check, Spider bet 20. And Rock's just going to fold, so they're just going to play that hand nice and quick. Not much going on for anybody. Now just continuing some action, we do have a $10 button straddle coming from Z69. Z has definitely been in a lot of the action. Definitely giving a lot of action, definitely been great for the game. Action is going to start on Rock, and he's going to let it go. New York Bob looks down at the jack 9 offsuit. He's going to call for 10. Maker and Spider going to fold. River Rat's going to fold. Noob is going to fold. Z looks down at pocket 4s. He checks his option. They're going to go heads up. Here comes 6-6-5. No 6 in anyone's hand. No improvement. Pocket 4s are still the best hand at the moment. Bob checks. And Z is going to bet. Pot size bet $20. Bob's going to go ahead and call. He does have 2 overs. And it comes the 8 of spades. So Bob does get a gut shot straight. Z has the same gut shot, but Bob would have a better one to the 9 if it comes a 7. It comes the 3 of spades after the players go check, check. So no improvement for Bob. Z has the best hand with a pair of 4s. Bob is going to check. And Z is going to bet $50 into this pot. And just take it on down as Bob folds. Now on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, we do have our progressive high hands, our progressive hold'em high hands. There are 3 slots per day on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Each are individually paid out, and they all individually roll over. So for example, we start off with $100 tonight at 10 p.m., but we had $600 start at 4 p.m., so it could fluctuate. Definitely a nice little bonus there if you want to comment on Mondays, Tuesdays, or Wednesdays to try to hit some of these high hands. So we have a straddle on the button, folds around to Baby Spider, who opens to $40 with a 10-6 of clubs. After Maker had limped the 10 originally, I did miss that. River Rat looks down at the Ace-King offsuit. He's going to call the 40. Maker's going to come along after getting odds to call, and they're going to be 3 ways to the flop. It's going to come 10-9 deuce, 2 diamonds. So Baby Spider does flop top pair. River Rat has 2 overs, backdoor flush draw. Maker's going to check it while Spider's going to bet. He was a pre-flop aggressor, so he's going to continue here with $80. Rat is going to let it go, and so is Maker. Baby Spider's going to take down that pot. Spider just wanted to see a river rat, or excuse me, a rabbit hunt. And he would have hit trips.
You driving back tonight? Where do you stay when you stay here? You're banned from Airbnb? What would you do? Nah, I said not one.
So we do have a $10 shot on the button from New York Bob. Action's going to start on Pedro, who looks down at the King 7 of diamonds. He's going to come along. Maker is going to fold. Spider looks down at the ace deuce of hearts, and he's going to come along for 10. Fold around to Z, and Z's going to come along with the king 3. Rock's going to look at the 5-4 of hearts, and he's coming along. Bob's going to check his option. We're going to go 5 ways to this flop. Board comes check, 10-4, 2 hearts. So Rock with the flush draw and a pair of 4s. Baby Spider with the nut flush draw. Pair of jacks for New York Bob. Looks like Z is going to bet $30. Rock's going to call. New York Bob calls. And Spider's going to call. So we're going to go 4 ways to the turn. The turn is the 6 of spades. So it doesn't improve anybody's hand. Spider still with the nut flush draw. Rock with a pair of 4s and a flush draw. New York Bob with the top pair. 5 kicker, and Z is with the betting lead. He's going to bet 70. Rock's going to call 70. New York Bob's going to let his hand go, so Rocket now has the best hand with a pair of 4s. Spider with the best draw, he's going to come along. And we're going to go 3 ways to this river. Comes the 7 of clubs. So Rock's pair of 4s is technically the best hand at the moment. Z69 has been betting the entire way. I can imagine it's going to be hard for Rock to call with a pair of 4s here. Z definitely showing a lot of heart, and he does show it. He does show the bluff with the queen high. This gentleman's playing some cards tonight. So a massive hand for Z69 there. If you want your chance to bluff like this gentleman, just send us an email, rgvlive@texascardhouse.com. you can join in the action. You can let us know if you want to play on the Wednesday 1-3 live stream or one of the Friday live streams, the 2-5 or the 5-5 PLO. You can also come in to the room and talk with any one of the staff members, and we'll happily get you situated. If you need any more information as well, please do not hesitate to email us. So we do have a $10 straddle from Spider as usual going on. River Rat's going to fold. Newbie's going to fold. Looks like Z is going to open it on up to 25. Z does look down at the 10-8 of hearts. So a suited 1 gapper. New York Bob's going to look down at the ace-3 offsuit. And Donetto's back. He's back to look down at the ace-queen offsuit. He calls for 25. And Spider's going to defend his straddle with the 9-6 offsuit. 4 ways to this flop. It's going to come Jack 10-4. So gut shot straight shot for Donetto. It looks like a gut shot for Z as well. A pair. Not a gut shot, a pair for Z. He's got a pair of 10s. New York Bob's going to be the one that bets here for 75 and gets everyone to fold except for Z. Z is going to call with his pair of 10s and their heads up to the turn. Turn's going to come to 3 of clubs. So rainbow board. Pair of 3s for New York Bob now. C6-9 is going to go ahead and check. Bob's going to continue his story. Bob says to the tune of 125, and lets it go. Bob does not elect to show, but he does get the bet through, and he scoops down a pot. Now, one of our other time promotions going on all month is the 4 hours for $40. You can do 2 redemptions per day. So saving a little bit of money there. Normally 4 hours will cost you $48, so you're saving $8. So just about 20%. So that's not too bad. And that's every day. Wednesdays and Sundays is 2 for 1. So those are our time promos going for the month of September. We're going to come on back, and River Rat's going to look down at pocket 8s, and he's going to come on in for 3. Z looks down at the ace-3 offsuit, and he's going to open to 15. New York Bob looks down at pocket 6s, and he's going to 3-bet. Makes it 65. Pedro's going to fold. Dunna's going to fold. Maker's going to let this go. Spider can't find anything to play with. Action's back on River Rat with a pair of 8s. And he's going to let this go. Z's going to let it go, and Bob's going to take down a small little pot with his pocket 6s there. Nice 3-bet from Bob to take that down.
We're gonna fly because it's cheap, like 40 bucks each way. Fly. Austin. Only 40 bucks. 20 bucks each way.
So Action's going to start on newbie. He looks down at the queen 8 of clubs. He's going to call the $3. Z is going to look down at the 5 deuce of hearts, and he's going to open to 15. Fold around to New York Bob. Looks down at the Jack 10 offsuit. He calls 15. Pedro with the ace queen offsuit. Looks like he's got some raising chips. And he does raise it. He's going to make it a total of $68 to go. Maker and Spider fold. River Rat gets out of the way. Newbury lets it go. Z is going to come along. He calls the 68 with the 5 deuce. And Bob getting some odds to come along. He's also going to come along with the Jack 10 offsuit. So we're going to go 3 ways to this flop. Nice little pot already brewing here with this 3-bet. Flop does come 8-5-3 rainbow. No club. Pair of 5s for Z. 2 overcards for New York Bob and 2 overcards for Pedro. So far, all 3 players check it down. Going straight to the turn, and it's the 8 of spades. So pairs the board and does bring the backdoor spade flush draw out there. Z is going to see where his 5 is or see where everybody else is. Z is going to bet 95. Bob's going to fold. And Pedro is going to quickly re-raise. Pedro did have the ace of spades, and he shows it after getting Z to fold. He does show the bluff. So nice pot from Pedro, nice bet, nice open pre-flop. If we have anybody that is interested in tournaments, one of our more popular tournaments is on Friday nights and Sundays. $20 rebuy, 2,000 guarantee. You get a 20K starting stack. You can add on to your stack for $20, get you 10K in chips. As long as it doesn't bring you over 50,000 in chips, you can keep adding on. This is one of our more popular tournaments. Turn $20 into $1,000 first place most nights. So you can't beat that value. And we're going to be back with a straddle of 10. New York Bob is going to call with the king, 3 of spades. Fold around to Newbie, who's going to look down at the Jack 9 offsuit. He's going to come along. And Z is going to check his option. Flop comes ace, Jack 8, rainbow with no diamond. Pair of jacks for Newbie. Not much for the other players. Check it down, and the 3 players are going to go to the turn, which comes the ace of spades. Newbie's going to bet 15. Z is going to fold, and New York Bob's going to come along. He's got the flush draw. Comes a 3rd ace. 3rd ace on the board. Newbie now with a full house. So the players are talking about our high hands. Unfortunately, you do need both cards to play, but this is the problem what they're talking about. Aces full of 10s minimum with both cards in your hand playing. We do have the high hands going Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. There's 3 separate increments. There's 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Every hour there's a $100 rolling over until it is hit. Now if they were playing PLO and he had the 4th ace, and we were on aces of the day, he could have been eligible for the PLO quads of the day. All right, so we're done with that. We're going to be jumping back into the action here. So Rock is going to let it go. New York Bob doesn't look at anything. He wants to play and lets it go. $3 to play. Down it's going to limp in with King 5 offsuit. River Rat's going to come with the 8-7 offsuit. Newbie's going to call with the 8 Ace-9 offsuit. Excuse me. And then we have the Jack 5 for for 4 players coming along. Flop comes 9-6-4. Pair of 9s for Newbie. Open in a straight. Draw for River Rats.
7 raises it to 25. 8 folds.
This looks like River Rat bets $12. Newbie opens to 25. Folds back to River Rat, so they're going to be heads up. Newbie with the top pair top kicker. River Rat with the open-ended straight. The 3 of hearts does not complete that straight. And does not improve River Rat's hand. Newbie is going to make another bet. He's going to bet 35. And River Rat is going to call. He's going to come and see this river. And it comes the king of diamonds.
7 checks. 6 bets. 100. Next hand.
It is check to River Rat, who's going to have some heart and bet $100 here. Put Newbie to the test, and Newbie's going to fold, and River Rat's going to take it down.
Alright, everybody, that's my time. Ashley coming in. Also, thank you for everybody and good luck, everyone.
So we do have Miss Ash coming back into the box with our dealer change. No Straddle this hand, so action's going to be on Bob for 3. He's going to let it go. Pedro's going to wake up with pocket aces, and he's going to raise it to $50. It was $3. It's now $50. And Z wakes up with queens, and he's going to go all in. And it's going to be a call all in. They're going to run it twice. Bit of a cooler for Z. So the board comes 6-3-3, no queen, 10 of spades, still no queen, and another 10, so no queen. So Pedro does have 50% of this pot locked up. Second board comes 10-8 jack, need a 9 or a queen, and it comes 4-4, so no 9, no queen, no improvement, and Pedro's going to take down the entire thing. Looks like Z69 is going to call it a night. He's taking some massive hits, definitely gave some action, was definitely mixing it up throughout the night. So he's going to call it.
A Coke with ice and a straw.
rack, aquí quédate un ratito. Cuando me traigas ese rack, aquí quédate un ratito.
¿Me quedo?
Sí, para que me traigas las fichas.
Oh, okay, okay.
So it looks like Baby Spider looks down at the Ace King and is going to open to 20. Rock's going to call the 20. New York Bob looks down at A7 offsuit and he's going to come along. They're going to go 3 ways to this flop. Comes 6, 4, 3, 2 clubs. Everybody with overcards. New York Bob does have a gut shot straight. If 5 was to come out. Now he picks up a double-ended gut so he's going to do 10 or 5 for the straight. New York Bob and Baby Spider with 2 overcards. Rock bets 25, Bob calls, and Spider's going to fold. The board does pair with the 6 of spades, so it doesn't complete anything, and Rock's going to fire one more time. I'd imagine Bob lets it go, which he does after not improving his hand. Rock is going to go ahead and put the $10 button straddle on. Action will start with New York Bob. He's going to fold. Pedro looks down at the Queen Jack offsuit. He's going to come along. He calls for 10. Fold it around to Baby Spider, who looks down at the Ace 8 offsuit, and he's going to open it up to 50. Rock folds and it's back to Pedro, who's going to call. They're going to be heads up to this flop. We got 5 deuce deuce. So no pair for anybody. Pedro checks. Spider's going to continue. Pedro is going to fold, and Spider will just take down that pot. It does look like we have a new player joining us over here in Seed 8. It is Smiley. Welcome, Smiley. He's joining in on the action where we have a $10 button straddle. Pedro first act and he folds. Donito looks down at the Ace Queen offsuit. He's going to call the 10. Baby Spider looks down at pocket 6s and he's going to open up. Folds to Bob and he's going to fold. Donito is going to be the only one that's coming along. So he calls 50 and Spider and Donito are going to be heads up. Comes Ace Jack 10. So Donito with a pair of aces, 60% of a royal flush draw, gut shot to the straight draw, and Spider with a pair of 6s. It goes check check. The board does pair. I'd imagine Spider is done with this hand. Nope, I'm a liar. So it comes Jack of spades, Donito checks, and Baby Spider is going to fire. As I said earlier in the stream, these guys definitely play with each other enough to where they'll play slightly different than normal. Donato is going to call this bet, and we're going to go to the river. And the river is another jack. A lot of jacks tonight. We got full house versus a full house. Donato is going to show the ace for a better full house. So it looks like everyone's going to fold. Smiley's going to come on in and raise it to $15 with the 5-3 of clubs. Folds to Pedro, who's on the button. He looks down at the 7-5 of hearts. He comes along. Donato is going to also come along. Maker's going to call, so we're going to be 3 ways to this flop. Excuse me, 4 ways. And the flop does come queen, 9, deuce, rainbow, no spade. So gut shot straight for Donato. Ace high for Maker is still the best hand. Deuce of diamonds on the river doesn't improve anybody, so Maker still with the best hand. Gut shot for Donato. Maker's going to bet 50. Smiley's going to fold. Pedro will fold. Donito's going to let it go, and Maker will just take down that pot.
Voy a empezar con este cabrón. Ese es mi lo va a pagar. Pero esos de Marco ya. Está jugado bien. Ahorita le hicieron que no la trae bien parada.
So River Rat is going to be first to act. He's going to look at that on that 2 red 9s. He's going to open up to $15. Newbie's going to look down at the Jack 10 offsuit. He's going to come along for 15. New York Bob's going to come along with the Ace 7 offsuit. Donito's also going to come along with the Jack 8 suited. Maker looking down at 6-5 offsuit, decides he's going to come along. Spider with the King 4 suited, he's going to come along, and we have 6 players going to this flop. And the board comes Queen at 9-6, so middle set for River Rat. I have a pair of 6s for Maker. I have an open and a straight jaw for Newbie. 3 of clubs doesn't improve anybody's hands. Donato also needs a 10 for a straight, while Newbie is open-ended. So River Rat is going to bet 150 here. And he's going to take down that pot. He's not going to find any customers. Looks like Maker is going to put the Straddle back on. He's going to put $6 on the button. Spider's going to be first to act. He looks down at the 8-6 offsuit. He's not going to come along. River Rat looks down at Queen 6 of clubs. He's going to come along. Rock sees the King Deuce of spades. He's going to come and play. Bob looks down at 10-8 of diamonds, and he opens at the 20. Actions on Donito, who's going to put in a 3-bet to $71 with the Ace-Jack offsuit. Maker's going to fold his straddle. River Rat's going to fold. And action's going to be back on New York Bob. Bob calls, and they're going to be heads up to the flop. Flop comes 9-8 for 2 clubs. So Bob with a pair of 8s. Donito with 2 overcards in the backdoor flush. But he doesn't need that as he gets the ace on the turn for a pair. Still goes check, check, and it comes out the 7 of hearts. So Bob checks. Donito's going to have a look and then show Bob the bad news. He's going to take down that pot. So Spider is going to put the $10 button straddle on. So it looks like it's folded around to Rock, who looks down at the King 6 of clubs. He's going to go ahead and call the $10 straddle. Bob is going to look down at Ace King offsuit. And he is going to open it up to 50. Pedro folds. Donito looks down at the 10-9 of spades. So nice suited connected there. He comes along for 50. Maker folds, Spider folds. Rock's going to come along, so they're going to have 3 players going to this flop. Comes 10-4-3 rainbow, no diamond. So pair of 10s for Neto is the best hand at the moment. Ace King still 2 overs. Rock checks on over, and Bob is going to continue his C-bet for 110. Neto pushes out a stack of red and makes a call. Rock gets out of the way, so we are heads up to this turn. Comes the jack of diamonds, so it does give Bob a gut shot straight. Bob checks and Neto checks behind. Neto still with the best hand, a pair of 10s. Comes the 8 of diamonds. So no improvement to Bob's hand. Neto still has the best hand. And he checks it down. Bob shows ace high. Neto shows a pair of 10s. And he's going to take down another pot. Just like Bob is saying, Neto does have the seat tonight on this fine Wednesday night. We also have 2-for-1 time on our Wednesday nights here. with a $100 cap. You can purchase time all day long and receive 2 for 1. We also have this on Sundays as well. If you can't join us on Wednesdays and you want to come and avail of 2 for 1 time, you could do so on Wednesdays and Sundays. So we have a re-straddle to 20. Donetto is going to call with the King Jack offsuit. Maker's going to get out of the way. Spider calls the 20. River Rat looks down Ace Queen suited. He's going to call on the button for 20. Smiley's going to call with the Ace Deuce. Rocks looks at the Ace 5 suited, comes along. We have 6 players calling to this flop. Bob's going to check his option. Comes King, Queen, 9. So top pair and a Jack kicker for Neto. Neto's certainly hitting some hands. A pair of queens for River Rat with an ace kicker. So far, Smiley and Rock check, check. Bob folded. Neto's going to bet $100 with his top pair, Jack kicker, and a gut shot. Leon now with ace, queen, spades. He does have the backdoor spades and a pair of queens, but he's going to let it go. Smiley's going to let that go. And Rock doesn't have much of anything to continue, so he's going to fold that hand, and Neto's going to take a third pot. $10 straddle is still on Pedro's first act. Neto's gonna look down at the 9-5 of hearts, and he comes along. Maker folds. Spider is going to open it up to 55 with the 8-7 of clubs. Fold around to Bob. Looks down at the King 8 off. He's going to let that one go. Well, you can't make it 4 in a row if you don't call, so Donito's in here. Flop comes ace, 8, 6, 2 clubs. So a pair of 8s and a flush draw for Spider. A gut shot for Neto, he just needs a 7. Neto just checks and Baby Spider bets 50. Neto's just gonna let it go. And Spider's gonna take down that pot. As you can see, there's some pretty decent V-pips there, as the graphics show you on the bottom. New York Bob has definitely been mixing it up along with Baby Spider. Rock joined us a little bit into the stream, and he's gotten up there to top 3, so definitely some action between these gentlemen going. Looks like Smiley puts on the $10 straddle. Rock folds. Action's going to be on Bob, who looks at the King 3 of diamonds. He comes along. Pedro's going to fold his King 3 offsuit. And Maker waking up with aces. This is the second time Maker's got aces. I think it's only the second time we've seen aces tonight. So they're definitely hiding. He makes it 45. Folds to Smiley. Looks down at the 8, 3 of spades. And he's going to come along. He's going to defend his button straddle. New York Bob's going to come along, and there's going to be 3 players to this flop. Flop is ace, queen, and jack, so top set for Maker, gut shot for Bob, backdoor flush draw, and not much going for Smiley. Unfortunately, that's not his neighborhood. GPS took him on the wrong turn there. We got a bet of 50 and a call, so 2 players to the turn. Comes the 4 of spades. Somewhat of an irrelevant card here. Does bring the backdoor flush possibility. New York Bob is going to check and just decide to give it on up, as Maker looks like he's going to make another bet. These guys have definitely been mixing it up throughout the night. Stack sizes have definitely been shifting, going up and down. As you can see, some different pre-flop raises percentages. Baby Spider is definitely up there, definitely one of the more aggressive players. Not afraid to give some action. We do have a $10 straddle on the button to start with. Bob is going to be first to act. Bob's going to fold, Pedro's going to fold. Maker looks down at 9-6 suited, he calls. Spider gets out of the way, River Rat's going to call. Newbie calls, Smiley calls, Rock checks his option. 5 ways to this flop. Comes ace, king, 5, 2 hearts. So Newbie with a pair of aces. Not much going for anybody else here. Maker and River Rat are going to check. Newbie's going to put in a $30 bet to find out where his ace is at. Fortunately, nobody having anything means everyone's pretty much going to fold. And Newbie's going to take down that pot. So Spider is going to start the action with a $20 bet with the 8-6 of diamonds. Rock will call with the queen jack of diamonds. Bob's going to fold. Pedro's going to call in the small blind with the ace-10 offsuit, and there's going to be 3 ways to the flop. Flop comes 10, 5, 3, so top pair, top kicker for Pedro. There's no diamonds for the other players. They go check, check, and it comes the 8 of spades. So Spider now picks up a pair. Pedro bets $50. Spider calls, and Rock's going to get out of the way, heads up to the river. River comes the king of spades. Goes check, check, and Pedro's going to show the 10th ace kicker, and Spider is going to throw his cards into the muck, and then we're going to move on. Now, once again, I do appreciate everybody joining us on the live stream. If you want to join us in real life, IRL, just send us a message on, just send us an email to rgvlive@texascardhouse.com. Let us know if you want to play the Wednesday or the Friday stream. Friday stream, we do 2-5 Hold'em, 5-5 PLO, 1-3-5 Hold'em. So do let us know your preference. But if you want to jump on the live stream, mix it up, tell some jokes, just let us know. Once again, Baby Spider does put on the straddle for $10. River Rat's going to look down Ace-5 offsuit, come along. Smiley's going to look down King-10 offsuit, come along. Rock says 7-6 is good for 10. New York Bob is going to open. He's going to have the King, Queen of Hearts for 40. Pedro calls with his pair of threes. Donato in the small blind is going to come along Queen 5 of clubs. Spider's going to fold. River Rat's going to come along. So is Smiley and so is Rock. So we now have 6 players going to this flop. Nice little pop ruin. Let's see who gets the best of the flop. Flop comes ace, 7, deuce, 2 hearts. Bob with the nut flush draw. A pair of aces for River Rat. Pair of 7s for Rock. River Rat is going to bet $50. See where his ace is currently at. Rock calls with his pair of 7s. And New York Bob's going to put in a raise. He does have the nut flush draw. Bob raises to $250. River Rat can't be loving this. That 5 kicker is not giving the most confidence in his hands, even though he does have the best hand at the moment. And River Rat is going to call. Rock lets his pair of 7s go, and they're going to be heads up to the turn. Comes the jack of clubs, so now Bob does pick up a straight draw with a 10. Leon is going to go all in. And Bob is going to call. No more action. See 4 diamonds. Bob just can't catch anything today. Ace 5 is going to hold up and be the best hand. So just fortunate hand for Bob there, but Leon's going to take down a massive pot. Now just some of our time promotions. We do have our 4 for 40 promotion going on. September 1st to the 30th, you could buy 4 hours for the price of $40, normally $48, so you're saving 20%. And like I said, on Sundays and Wednesdays, we have our 2 for 1 in time all day long. $100 is the cap for your most purchase, but it is all day long for both of those days. Now it looks like we have an open. Newbie's going to look down at ace jack suited. He's going to open to 15. Fold around to Pedro, who looks down at the ace, 8-5 of hearts. Comes along. Donato looks down at jack 6 on the button. He's going to come along. Maker's going to let it go. Spider's going to let it go. And we're going to be 3 ways to the flop. Comes jack 9-7 with 2 clubs, so top pair, top kicker for Newbie. Gut shot straight for Pedro, and uses 6. And then a pair of jacks for Donato, who would be in second place behind the ace jack. Looks like Newbie checks, Pedro checks, actions on Neto on the button, and he's going to elect to bet $50. Pedro is going to call. Excuse me. Newbie's going to call with the action on Pedro. Excuse me. Pedro's going to fold, and they're going to go heads up to the turn. Comes the 10 of hearts. So now Neto can't get an 8 for his straight. He'll put a straight on the board. It comes the queen of clubs. Goes check, check, and Newbie's going to take down the spot with the ace jack.
He's not a machine.
Maker is going to put the button straddle on for $6. Try and entice a little bit of action. You guys are starting to slow down. It is getting towards the end of the night. Action is going to be on Spider. Doesn't look like he wants to play with the 8-3 suited. River Rat's going to look down at the King 8, and he's going to come along. Fold to rock, and he calls with 10-7 hearts. Pedro fold. Neto's going to look down at the King Jack offsuit. And he calls. Maker has his option on the straddle, and he's going to let him live. Says 4 to the flop. Flop does come at 9-7-5, 2 spades, so Mr. Maker does hit his top pair of 9s. Rock hits a pair of 7s. River Rat does have a gut shot with his 8, which needs a 6, and then Neto has 2 overs. Looks like Rock's going to bet $10 with his pair of 7s. Neto's going to come along with his 2 overs. Maker will call, and so will River Rat. Still 4 players to this turn, and it comes the ace of spades, putting the 3rd spade out there. Nobody has a spade in their hand, so pair of 9s is still good. Everybody checks, and it comes the King of Hearts. So Neto now picks up the best hand with the King Jack. River Rat also picked up the King, but his kicker is going to have some issues. Neto's going to bet 15. River Rat's going to call, and Neto will show him the King Jack and take down another pot. Now we do have our Sunday night football squares. We're trying to let everybody know that we do have this going on. You just need to show down a full house or better, and you can choose a square for the Sunday night game. Just before the game starts, we will randomize the squares. Must be present to win, but we are giving away $250 per quarter, $1,000 total per Sunday. So make sure to join us throughout the week to try to get your squares, and then join us on Sunday to win your money. Looks like we have a button straddle to 10. Smiley's going to call with the 8-7 offsuit. Folded back to done. Neto is going to call the 10 with the Queen Jack offsuit. Maker is going to call, and we're going to go 4 ways after Spider checks. Comes 6-5-5, 2 diamonds. So open and a straight for Maker, as well as Smiley, queen high for Nippo, and ace high for Spider. Smiley's going to bet 20. Maker's going to call the 20. Everyone else is going to get out of the way. Here comes the 4. So now Maker does make a pair of 4s while Smiley makes a straight to the 8. Maker's just going to go ahead and let it go.
¿A dónde van, Neto?
¿Qué?
Ganeo, ganado.
Ay, no picó.
Vas para allá. Dijeras tú, vas a tu casa.
No, voy para la casa. Gracias.
Gracias.
¿Vas a pagar una tarjeta?
Gracias.
So I believe this will be our last hand of the night. Or else Donito's just leaving us, but I want to say it's going to be the last hand of the night. We have a straddle on the button for 6. Newbie's going to go ahead and call. Smiley will call. Pedro's also going to call with his suited cards. Donito's going to still play even though he's racking it on up. Action's a baby spider. We've seen this before. All that dead money puts in a raise. No free cards around here, boys. Spider says king 5 of hearts. Newbie comes along. Smiley's going to come along. Pedro's going to come along. And now Donito's going to come along. So we have 5 players going to this flop. Action hand for our last hand of the night. Flop's going to come 7, deuce, deuce, 2 clubs. King, queen is still the best hand right now. In this first act, Smiley's going to go all in with the queen 8. Says there's enough in that pot for him right now, so he's going to try to take it on down. He goes all in. And Baby Spider's going to call. Baby Spider's got king 5. Newbie folds and it's king 5 versus queen 8. What a final hand of the night. Comes a deuce and a king, so Spider's going to have a full house. And Spider's going to take down that pot. Massive pot, unfortunate for Smiley, but that is a massive call and a massive pot for Spider. Once again, everybody, I do very much appreciate and I want to say thank you for joining us. It's been a lot of fun watching these hands, listening to some of these guys talk about some jokes and stories. As always, if you want to join us, just send us an email to rgvlive@texascardhouse.com and we can get you situated and get you on the right path to joining us here on the live stream. I've been Declan.